Hello and welcome back to today's episode of The Current. I'm your host, Reese Braswell. On today's episode, we have a very special guest, Caden Lang, but you guys may know him as the Teal Suit Guy. Today's episode of The Current starts right now. All right, so we're here with Caden Lang, also known as the Teal Suit Guy. Thank you, Caden, again for coming onto the show.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Reese.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. I was like, whenever we thought about an interview, I was like, I know the perfect person that'll give a great interview, and it'd be Caden. So yeah, so I want to get us started here. So tell us a little bit about what you do on UNCW's campus, what you do here.
Yeah, so my official title is Assistant Director of Marketing and Fan Engagement. So a lot of my day-to-day includes preparing for games, making marketing plans for different sports. So right now I'm the marketing contact for women's soccer. Everything women's soccer runs through me, so I'm making sure that the promotions are good. I'm talking with the coaches weekly about what we're doing for their upcoming games. So I do that for women's soccer, help out with volleyball as well. And obviously when basketball season rolls around, it's full-time Teal Suit Guy. So that's the biggest role that I have here is the on-court MC for all our sports. So if I'm working on a sport, I'm typically on the mic doing things. So for volleyball, since we don't have a lot of on-mic things, I've been doing PA for them when we don't have a set-in-stone PA guy. So I'll like the relief pitcher of PA for volleyball, and that's been a lot of fun doing that this year as well.
Yeah, that sounds like a great job, just going to all the sporting events, and then sometimes it's Teal Suit Guy, but sometimes it's Caden. And then do you really enjoy all the sporting events, like even volleyball and the smaller ones?
I love it. Growing up, I was a huge sports fan. I tried to dip my toes in as many sports as possible. So I love UNCW and I love UNCW athletics. So I love working all our sports. And volleyball is a lot of fun too because I picked up playing beach volleyball. I'm not too good at it, but I have a lot more respect for the people who do play volleyball and beach volleyball because it's a lot harder than it looks. Have you
been to the beach volleyball games or seen them in action? Do you like to go watch them since you're a beach volleyball fan?
I do, yeah. So we have a brand new shoreline complex that's been there for a couple years. So they play there, which is right outside the dorm. So I like to tell students, like, if you're just going to breakfast or lunch one day, you might see our beach volleyball team there. And our beach volleyball team's really good. We're in the Sun Belt Conference, and we were one game away from making the NCAA tournament last year, which for beach volleyball, only 16 teams make it. So once you get in the dance, anything could happen. Like I said, we're one game away from doing it. So I think we'll run it back this year and be knocking on the door.
Oh, that'd be nice. Yeah, I've seen them because I've walked by the Shoreline Complex and I see them practicing. I have seen a game because it was sometime at like 7 o'clock one night and I was walking back and they were having their games. You could see all the people around in it and it looked really fun. So yeah, and I wanted to know, how exactly did you get into the teal suit? I want to know the story. How did this all become such a big deal?
So the teal suit was an impulse buy when I was in college. So my friends and I were Seahawks sycophants. We would go to every single game, cheering our heads off, even when we weren't that good. And then when COVID hit, obviously we couldn't go to any of the games. So when we were coming back and they opened up Trask Coliseum again, my friends and I were kind of deciding of what should we do to make our presence known there. So we were talking about making signs, possible costumes, and I was joking with my friends like, oh, what if I got a teal suit? And they're like, yeah, right, like you're not gonna do that, like you're a broke college kid. And then that night I just went on Amazon and found a cheap teal suit for $50. So I was like, yeah, sure, boop, bought it. And then that's how Teal Suit Guy started. And then I became an unofficial student section leader. But for the position that I have now, I took an internship with the athletic department after I graduated because I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. I know I didn't want to work with my major, so I had a great opportunity with them. Halfway through the season, my boss at the time, Rob Brickles, comes into our office and says, do you want to take over the on-court MC duties? And I was like, sure, that sounds like a ton of fun. He's like, there's one stipulation. You have to wear the teal suit. I was like, done. Easy enough. And it was just a natural fit. This first game I did, I loved it, and I knew that this was something I wanted to pursue, and I was fortunate enough to get a full-time job out of it. So I'm very grateful to, one, our athletic director, Michael Oblinger, for giving me a chance, and then Rob Brickles for recommending me to the job.
Yeah, I know we love it. You bring so much energy to the games, and it's just like a great presence. And we also, I think because of you, we have a great basketball atmosphere. We have like the top, would you say the top basketball atmosphere or in Trask Coliseum?
Absolutely. I'd say we for sure have the best environment in the CAA, hands down, Simon Close. And I would go as far as to argue that we have one of the best environments in the country, not just at a mid-major level, but just at a national stage as well. because when you go to Trask Coliseum, it's a party, and that's the way we like to treat it. The students are awesome. The fans are awesome. They're into the game. They know the stakes of every single game that's played. When a big moment happens, when Trask erupts, I don't think there's many places in the country that gets as loud as Trask Coliseum.
Oh yeah, I've definitely been in there. Whenever makes like a big three or like we take the lead, it's like we're going crazy. Or if we win a big game, like Charleston, like always beating Charleston is always like a big moment because that's what everybody loves to see. And then wanted to ask you how exactly. What makes you so passionate about UNCW? What kind of brought you here to this college, to this school? What kind of drew you towards?
To UNCW? Yeah, so when I was in high school, I really wanted to play college sports. So I applied to 13 colleges to see whether or not I could get any baseball offers from there, but I ended up injuring myself, so the sports aspect took on the back burner. So instead of going to like a D2 or D3 and rehabbing and trying to play baseball, I decided a more academic approach where I wanted to get the best education I could. So it came down to Chapel Hill and UNCW, and I got a really big scholarship to UNCW and got into the honors college. And it was like I would be dumb if I didn't go to UNCW. And plus I grew up in the area. I love the Wilmington area. It's a fantastic area with the beach and downtown. Like the people here, it's home. It's always been home for me. So to be able to stay in my hometown and go to UNCW, it was just a no-brainer for me. And then the second I stepped on campus, it just felt like I was supposed to be here. Like between the faculty, the friends I made, and just everyone on campus, it felt like more of a community than it did at school. And I really love that about UNCW, that everyone is just so personable here. And once you step on campus, you're a Seahawk, right? And we do have very competitive athletic programs as well. Like obviously basketball just made March Madness. Our baseball team hasn't had a losing season since the 90s. They're always in the NCAA tournament. Our swim team is like a dynasty. So is our tennis program. So we have high caliber programs here on campus too. So with the community aspect, obviously the beach is hard to pass up, and our sports, like it's just been a perfect fit.
It sounds like it. It sounds like you've had a great time growing up here. You were born a Seahawk, you would say?
Yeah,
or around the area?
Yes, definitely.
Did you go to, like, say, basketball growing up or baseball since you were into that? Did you go to any UNCW baseball games or basketball games, like, younger before college or before thinking about it?
I did, yes. So I went to a few games during the Keats area, which was a lot of fun because that was just such a great time for our program. Winning back-to-back championships in 16 and 17. So I definitely went to a lot of games during high school then. And for baseball, yeah. Like we've always had a great baseball program here. So I've been to games in middle school, high school, and obviously college as well to see what SCAF has done with the program to keep them so consistent. And now what Randy Hood is doing. We just have a phenomenal baseball program. So fun to watch on the diamond.
And then so I want to go to see what would be your favorite UNCW chant that you've done, like either whether it be with your student or now as Teal Suit Guy. What would be your favorite UNCW chant that you love to do?
I'd say my favorite one that we do is probably the Seahawks chant when we get the entire stadium involved. So what we do is we split the stadium into two different sections. So let's just say the left side is C, the right side is Hawk. So I point to each section. So the left side will be like C, the right side will be Hawk. And then whichever side is louder gets t-shirts. That's a really fun one that I like to do because it gets the entire stadium involved. And who doesn't want a free t-shirt?
Yeah.
Right? So we'll even get opposing fans chanting C or Hawk. Like I remember vividly a couple times people wearing, away colors, but they're on their feet yelling for t-shirts. So I feel like it's a great way to get the entire stadium, not just Seahawk fans involved, because, who doesn't want a free t-shirt?
Everybody seems to want a free t-shirt.
Exactly.
Even if it's just chanting.
Right.
And then so I would say, tell me about how do you get the crowd hype? How would you say would be your best method if say you're out there and you're just like, how can we bring things to a higher level? How can we get everybody hyped up now?
I'd say definitely bringing the energy is one. I think the crowd is great about knowing when to cheer. So from that perspective, it's very easy because if a big moment happens, I feel like I add to the energy more so than creating it. But for moments when we do need energy created, I feel like, just body language, if I'm jumping around, screaming, fist pumping, I think students will get involved in that as well. Like we have a great student fan base, but I'd say, when students aren't there, like for the winter break games, it can be a little more challenging to get, the casual fan to scream for the entirety of a basketball game. But like I said, our fans are great. So if we have a giant moment in the game, they're on their feet. One game that I love to work, that's one of my favorite games to work, is the Seahawks Tomorrow basketball game that we do for women's basketball.
Mm-hmm.
So what we do is invite a bunch of local elementary schools from New Hanover, Onslow, Brunswick, and Pinner County. And let me tell you, those kids are hyped from the second they step in the building. It makes my job super easy because I can say almost anything on the mic and they're going to go crazy. So that one's a lot of fun to work. But yeah, like I said, our fans are great. So a lot of times I don't really need to create the energy. I'm just adding to it. So it makes my job a lot easier than it has to be.
Yeah. So tell me about the Seahawks going to the CAA tournament and then therefore winning it and going to March Madness. I know you were there in Washington, D.C. You even cut down the net whenever we won. Tell me about that experience there, being a fan, and then how it was winning it. I know you were there for, you said the 2016-2017 back-to-back. So tell me about it now, being there in person and then finally winning for this time after getting so close those few other times, like against in 2022 and then against Charleston.
Yeah, so obviously in 22 and 23, we were just a few minutes away from the tournament. The guys played hard, but just didn't fall in our favor. So those years were tough, but they were good years because knowing where we came from previously, we had a winning coach in Coach Siddle that could get us to the dance, right? So then this year, we just had this feeling. There was something in the air of like, okay, we can do this thing. With the team playing as well as they did, they played really well as a unit. I think that last year's team was the best team that I've seen being a student and now working here that played as a team. They were very synergetic with each other. And obviously we beat our opening opponent. And then the next day it's like, okay, we're playing Charleston.
Oh, yeah.
So we have this this feeling of like, we're playing our rival. We beat them twice already. Tomorrow's going to be a rock fight. And being at that game and seeing the way it was back and forth, like I don't think I've been through so many emotions in such a short period of time of thinking like, oh my gosh, like we might lose this game to, oh my gosh, newbie just hit a giant shot. Like we're right back in it. We're going to win this thing. So my emotion levels were going up and down, up and down. When we won, like I was just ecstatic. Like that in a lot of ways felt like the championship game because of obviously our history with Charleston and how we're rivals and everything. And the way that it was just a fight right up until the last play. And that steal that Nolan got at the end to seal the game was huge. And then going to the next day, I wouldn't say like we felt like we had it in the bag because we knew Delaware was going on this huge run. But certainly the stress level wasn't as high as it was against Charleston. But that was also a great game because we were up big to start. Delaware brought it back, took the lead at one point, but our guys just found a way to win. Mm-hmm. And especially newbie hitting those shots at the end, saying, go home. Like, I don't think there's been a colder moment in UNCW history saying, go home the opponent as he sinks the winning free throw. Like, how cool is that? Like, and then when the final buzzer hit and we won, like, it was just pure elation. And then for me to go on the floor and celebrate with my friends, my coworkers, and the team, such a cool moment. To see how hard the guys have worked all season, the coaching staff, the players, our staff, with everything that goes into the game. Like, to finally win it for the first time since 2017 was such a cool and special moment. And I didn't think I was going to be able to cut down a piece of the net. And when they said, hey, cut down a piece of the net, like, that to me is one of the coolest moments of my young career, and certainly probably one of my favorite moments as a Seahawk ever, to cut down the net for the school that I went to, the one I root for so hard and now work for. Like, such a special moment. I'll always cherish and remember it. Yeah.
So as a final wrap-up question, so what do you think? Do you think we're going to go for that two-peat for basketball this year? I know we have a lot of new pieces, but what are your thoughts about the upcoming basketball season?
I'm very excited for this upcoming season. Obviously, you get returners back in Noah Ross, Nolan Hodge, Greedy Williams. You get those three guys that have been there, done that before. And you get a bunch of new guys too. And we get a lot of people from the CEA who have done great things at their school, like Jonathan Lamoth, averaged like 18 points a game at North Carolina A&T. You get CJ Lustard from Stony Brook, who is a phenomenal point guard for them. Then you also get Madison Durr from Monmouth, who could go off at any time. I think he scored 40 points for Monmouth last year. Then you get Big Pat from Virginia Tech. You get Gavin Walsh from Binghamton, who UConn was recruiting, and we landed him. So on paper, I think we're going to be just as good, if not better, than last year. And obviously, I think the goal is to win the CEA tournament and go back to the NCAA tournament, March Madness, which I'm very excited for. And, we kick off here in less than a month. We're 2.5 weeks away from our exhibition game against High Point, which what a better way to start the season with two teams that made March Madness, two of the high caliber mid-major programs, not just in the state, but in the country as well. Like High Point's been great for a long time too. And to open in the Coliseum of Chaos against those two teams, I'm excited.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for your answers, Caden. That about wraps it up for our interview portion. We'll be right back with a fun game to test the Teal Suit Guy's guessing skills, right after a word from Dev with Wave Watch.
Thanks, Reese and Caden. Do you want to see the Teal Suit Guy in action? Well, visit him along with UNCW athletics teams at campus sporting events. Bring your best school spirit to Trask Coliseum on October 18th for the first men's basketball game of the season. So students, don't forget your one card so you can receive free admission. And now, let's put the Teal Suit Guy's guessing skills to the test. Reese, back to you.
I'm back here with the Teal Suit Guy, and we're going to see how well he knows his rival mascots. All right, Caden, we'll show you a close-up picture of the mascot, and then you'll just have to guess which school they come from, and then bonus points if you can get the name of the mascot. All right, so we'll start with our first one right here. We'll just show you the zoomed-in photo at first, and then all right, what do you think the mascot?
That's tough, but with the gray, I'm going to have to go with Mr. Wolf, NC State.
All right, we'll show him the next. Woo!
Oh, it's both of them. Okay.
All right, so we got Mr. and Mrs. Wolf. All right, here we got number 2.
Oh, that's Ramsey, North Carolina.
Yep. Next one. All right, what do you think?
That is old Sammy Seahawk back from the 80s. The green and gold. Yeah, the scary one.
The scary one. All right.
That is the Duke Blue Devil. I don't know the Blue Devil's name. Oh, it's just Blue Devil. Okay.
There you go. You got it still. All right, we got number 5.
Is that PD the Pirate? ECU?
That is Petey the Pirate.
Look at that.
Whose feet.
That's
Who's
also
this
Sammy.
one?
That's Sammy on the beach. Come on. Too easy.
All right, and the next one, I think, yeah, we got.
Is that the Demon Deacon from Wake Forest?
That is the Demon Deacon.
Okay.
All right, and then we have, this is the last one that we have.
My gut's telling me Sammy Seahawk. Is this Sammy Seahawk again?
Yes, it
Oh,
is
look at that, Sammy.
We sprinkled in a little bit of Sammy there, even from different generations of Sammy Seahawk. All right, so good job, Caden. So I just wanted to finish it off with, but what would be one piece of advice that you would be that you have for anyone attending their first UNCW basketball game, just to close us out? Some advice for the audience.
Yeah, if you come to the Coliseum of Chaos, show up, wear teal, and be loud. And as far as people that want to work in sports marketing, don't be afraid to be out there. The Bananas are a perfect example about that, of people that do stuff that's so crazy that you think that would never work, but it does. When I bought a teal suit, I never thought that I'd be in the position that I'm in. So don't be afraid to be weird in sports. Don't be afraid to be yourself.
All right, thank you, Caden, again for coming on to The Current, and thank you all for joining us, and we'll see you next time on The Current.